Hello everyone! The lives of animals are still being explored to this day, and we can watch them endlessly, learning something new each time. But what do we know about them? Mostly that they are funny and cute creatures, and what their adults look like. What was it? But few have given much thought to what they look like at birth. Today you'll learn what a kangaroo and a seahorse have in common, as well as a turtle and a crocodile, why pandas don't want to procreate, and newborn hedgehogs look like car tires. Armadillo. The armadillo lives in Central and South America. Its body length ranges from 60 to 85 centimeters along with its tail, and it weighs about 6 kilograms. The armadillo digs burrows not far from a body of water, with several passages leading into them at once. At the very end of the burrow, the female sets up a maternity nest of dry grass and leaves. The first stage of embryo development occurs after the animals mate, after which they go into hibernation for 14 weeks, and then the embryos begin developing again. Basically, the female gives birth to 2 to 4 cubs. Newborn armadillos are born immediately sighted and their bodies are covered with a soft shell, but within 6 months their shell becomes rigid. They become adults and leave their parents' nest. Lemur. Lemurs give birth to 1 calf each, with twins occasionally occurring. Females breed annually and gestation lasts about 135 days. The calf weighs 80 to 120 grams at birth. The newborn grabs hold of the mother's fur, hangs onto it, and for the next 2 months the female carries them on her belly, and later they move onto her back. At the age of 2 to 3 months, the cubs begin to leave the mother's back, make independent forays, returning to her during sleep and feeding, and after 6 months, they already begin to live an independent life. Hedgehog. Hedgehogs are cute little creatures that can be found almost everywhere. As a rule, a female hedgehog brings only 1 litter a year. When pregnant, she sets up her home for giving birth and nursing her young, which she covers with grass and dry leaves, and also well camouflages from unwanted predators. Pregnancy in hedgehogs lasts about 7 weeks. Usually in 1 litter, the female brings 5 to 8 cubs, which are born blind and with virtually no needles, so as not to harm the mother during birth. There are still needles, but only rare and soft, like the tendrils of a rubber tire. Baby hedgehogs are born with closed eyes, about 7 centimeters long and weighing only 14 grams. After about 2 weeks, they open their eyes, gain weight, are covered with hard needles, and in 2 months the young begin to live an independent life. Panda. Pandas reproduce extremely slowly. Each of their pregnancies in any zoological center is a whole event, in which case they receive royal care. Great pandas are an endangered species. There are no more than 1,600 of them in the wild, and another 300 are kept in zoos and research centers around the world. Their lifespan is about 20 years, and they reach sexual maturity at the age of 4. But their mating period lasts only for 3 weeks. At the same time, the possibility of conception in females falls only for 2, and sometimes for 3 days. After conception, the panda carries the cubs for 160 days. Generally, 1 calf is born. It weighs no more than 130 grams, which is 1/800 of its mother's weight. Its paws are so weak that it cannot stand on them at all, but unlike other newborn cubs, it is covered with a thin layer of fur. For the next 2 months, he sleeps all the time and his mother feeds him with milk. It is not until 3 months later that the bear cub begins to move a short distance on its own. Porcupine. Porcupines are large, slow rodents with sharp needles on their backs. They reach up to 90 centimeters in length and weigh up to 40 kilograms. Pregnancy of the female lasts up to 30 weeks. At a time, the female gives birth to 1 to 3 cubs. Newborn porcupines weigh only 3% of their adult weight and are born with their eyes open. Just like hedgehogs, small porcupines' needles are very soft and brittle, but in just a few days they become as hard as an adult animal's. Both parents take care of the offspring, they drive strangers away from the burrow and take turns warming the babies. The female feeds her cubs with milk for several weeks, but young porcupines live on their parents' territory for a long time after starting to feed themselves. Only by the age of 2 years, when they reach puberty, they disperse and get their own burrows. Sea turtle. Turtles live in tropical and temperate climates almost all over the planet. If environmental conditions are unfavorable, the female can cut off oxygen to freeze the development of embryos. Turtles reach sexual maturity at 10 years of age, and it takes 2 months to hatch their eggs, after which they lay 150 to 200 eggs. The female lays the eggs in a pitcher-shaped hole that she digs with her hind legs, then covers them with sand and carefully compacts them, making the clutch as inconspicuous as possible. The entire process takes about an hour, after which the female returns to the ocean and no longer cares for her young. During the season, the turtle may make several such clutches, the incubation period of which lasts up to 3 months. The sex of future sea turtles depends on the incubation temperature. If the eggs developed at a lower temperature, they will hatch males; if at a higher temperature, they will hatch females. 3 months after the end of the incubation period, the little turtles break through the shell with a special tooth and come up for air. They spend several hours in the nest and then amicably climb out of the sand and run to the sea. Kangaroo. Kangaroos are indigenous to Australia, with large powerful hind legs, huge feet, a long massive tail, and a small head. Like most marsupials, female kangaroos have a pouch on their abdomen, called a pouch, with which the cub completes its postnatal development. Female kangaroos give birth every year. The short-term pregnancy, which lasts no more than a month, results in the birth of a tiny cub about 2.5 centimeters, which is the size of a young seahorse. Before giving birth, the mother kangaroo licks out a special path on her belly, which the baby kangaroo will use to get to the pouch. Barely born, it crawls along the pre-made path. The newborn cub is completely blind and helpless. It has no fur at all, but it already has everything it needs: balance organs, sense of smell, and tiny muscles. Because its blood vessels are so close to the skin, they color the kangaroo cub red. Biologists speculate that the vessels directly absorb oxygen from the air, as his lungs are still too weak to fully function. After a couple of minutes, it ends up in the bag, having traveled 30 centimeters. There, the newborn is suckled to the nipple and remains in that position for another 34 weeks. In the course of evolution, the kangaroo has replaced the umbilical cord with a nipple, from which milk comes automatically. A female can produce up to 4 types of milk depending on the age of her kangaroo. If she has another offspring born and the older one is still breastfeeding, the kangaroo produces 2 types of milk at once. Crocodile. Crocodiles are very serious about procreation. Near the water in her territory, the female builds a nest out of rotting vegetation and dirt. Every year, the female takes the same place to lay, but constantly builds a new nest. She brings bundles of grass and clumps of dirt in her teeth and piles them up, forming a meter-high mound that is about 2 meters in diameter. On top, it makes a depression and lays 20 to 60 eggs covered with a lime shell. After laying the eggs, the caring female covers the clutch and goes to a nearby so-called crocodile pit. There she vigilantly guards the future offspring. Like sea turtles, incubation temperature determines the sex of the future cubs, but vice versa. At low temperatures females come into the world, and at high temperatures males do. But when the mother maintains an average temperature, males and females emerge. A few days before birth, the cubs begin to make quirking sounds, a persistent and loud sound that lets the mother know that the time has come. Then the female crocodile digs up the nest and helps break the shell if they can't do it on their own. The reptile cubs come into the world fully formed, able to move actively, feed, and are quite capable of fending for themselves. Want more interesting and informative? Then subscribe to the channel to find out all the most interesting things that happen on our planet and beyond.